Womp, womp. Oh yeah, this is a funny story I wanted to save for a stream. 2 days ago, I believe, some just amazing father of the year, totally 10 out of 10. When they come up to the cash register, because I work at a cash register shop, when they come up to check out their items, this poor girl's father, they walk up there. It's just a girl and a dad, and she's like, I'd say she's like the same age as me, if not like just end of high school or something. But this dad walks up and says, "Hello, sir. How are you today?" I said, "I'm doing good. How about you?" And he's like, "Good. My daughter says you're cute." And just the girl goes absolutely crazy on him and just like hates him. And then once they calm down, I'm just like, "Thank you." I felt so bad for her. That is not a scenario that anyone would want to be in. I thought that was hilarious and just so painful. Whether it's out of spite or not, I don't care. It was just hilarious to me, but I had to keep a professional level. You have to make a video now on cash register stories. Dude, I have so many bad customer stories. Like rude customers. Literally last night, he comes into the same Wawa. I work at Wawa. They come up to the cash register. I sort of recognize them, but I don't exactly remember who they are. But our Wawa no longer carries plastic bags, and so many people have a problem with no longer having plastic bags and plastic items in general. But this one guy, every single time asks, do you guys have plastic bags? And I think he knows the answer, but just likes making it our problem when we say no. Because this time around, when he asked, or when I had to explain to him that we don't have plastic bags, he looks at me with just the most, like, he will kill me look. I felt probably genuinely threatened. But the only part that, like, didn't make me shake in my boots is that I have developed a horrible, maybe probably good self-defense mechanism of my body just laughing whenever anyone just, like, stares into me with, like, a death stare. So this guy's, like, menacing look, he could only watch as my smile grew wider and wider by the second instead of actually feeling uncomfortable. Yeah, he basically says, "No, I do not want a bag," walks away angrily, and what he does is he goes to where we keep all of like the little snacks, like candy bars and all that stuff, and the containers, like the plastic, no, not plastic, cardboard containers that they're in. He finds the most empty one and just takes out the contents of it and uses that as like a carrier. Every single time, oh, there goes the sapling. Every single time that he takes one of those things, I look at the manager just to double check if he's like okay with this. Our manager does not really care. Our new one, I'll call him Tony. He's okay. I'm okay with him. Sometimes he's just in the mood of not having any emotion or expression. So he does not care. He's fine, but he just like took the situation. He just doesn't care. But I told him about this and I was like, this guy just stared at me and it was for 10 seconds. He stares at me in the like eyes for 10 seconds and I didn't know what was going through his head. I was just there to be of their surface and I'm just like, okay, you do you. I mean, again, there's nothing we can do about the plastic bags, sir. It's the township that's making us do that. It's not like Wawa as a whole. I really was trying to hold back a smile because he looked pissed, and I knew that I was supposed to be like using any other kind of emotion. Ooh, shoot. Any other kind of emotion other than, you know, laughter. But it's just so hard. It's just so hard. And as soon as I started smiling, I just couldn't stop myself. So, mission failed, I guess. Hopefully he gets a kick out of looking back and realizing that it was like 9 p.m. I was tired. I didn't like, it's not like I don't care about my job. I do. But yeah, it's just like, it's so crazy. Some of the things that just happen at work and it just feels like a sitcom or a rom-com, whatever you call those. And it's like, I love it. I think work stories just have a natural potential of being hilarious. And you know what? Because I don't really have much else to talk about, I'm gonna continue. To kind of continue on with the whole like no plastic bags thing, There is just a lot more to the story, to the lore of that whole thing. So many people had a problem with it. And it's the most awkward thing in the world to just try to convince them they should go along with it, because I personally like it. It's saving plastic and all that stuff. I don't know how many of them I already have. I have like one from my university when I went recently. I have one from Wawa. I purchased one. They're only 35 cents. That was the crazy part. 35 cents is all they cost, and sometimes our discounts literally are more than 35 cents. People are like paying for cigarettes that are like $10 per pack. And then if you get like 2 of them, our little discount system gives you like $1 off if you get 2 of them. But no, they draw the line at like a $35, or not $35, 35-cent reusable bag. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what to say to them. Some people go on like the largest rants, and I lean more towards the, how do I put this lightly? Liberal mindset. So all of a sudden, when people start like complaining about it and like going off on this like huge rant about like what they hate about the bag, I'm just like, ah, yes, because I don't agree with them. Not that I like don't like their opinion or whatever. I respect it however they view it. It's still just kind of funny where I just switch on a dime, be like, oh yeah, sorry, personal rant there. We've only had one instance of the bag ripping. Well, we have no clue. Like, this person comes in with their bag and it's like completely ripped, and it looks like it's not even ripped by the handle, it's ripped from like the place in between the handles. And I'm just looking at it, and they're like, hey, it got like destroyed, could you like replace this? And I asked my manager, like, hey, can we just like give them a new bag? And they're like, sure, because it's 35 cents in the end. We're not gonna like be like, oh no, you have to pay another 35 cents. Because it was like a one-time scenario. We've never seen the bags get destroyed. But I always have to wonder how that bag got destroyed, because yes, it would make sense if it was like too heavy and it ripped by like the handles, but that's not the case. It was just ripped in the most random spot. And I have to wonder if they like have a dog and the dog like chewed at it and it just like ripped. Whatever happened, I'm confused to say the least. But it's funny sometimes. There was also recently the kid's flip-flop that was left in the store. We kept it up front for like maybe a day or two, because it was like, I mean, we didn't want to like throw it out immediately and just be like, oh well, if they're looking for it, then it's gone. So some of us up front, we would just like ask anyone who had like a kid, hey, did your kid lose this like flip-flop or a croc? I think it might have been a croc. We would just be like showing off this shoe. One of our new workers, they had the idea of, what if we like tied a string around this like shoe that everyone might be looking for, put an advertisement sign on it like, hey, you want this shoe? Does anyone know who this shoe belongs to? And I thought that would be funny, because in some places of just normal towns and all that stuff, you would see like these shoes like tied together and then thrown over like power lines. It would be really funny if people just saw like this shoe dangling there, and it's almost like a threat, like, if you lose a shoe, this is what will happen to it. Like fishing with a shoe, yeah. It's like a competition. Whoever can get the shoe without a ladder can win. It just stood there like a trophy, or it could stand there like a trophy. We never actually like did anything. We eventually just threw it away because no one came for it after a few days. But the real question in the first place is, how do you not know that a shoe has fallen off of your foot? I think that's pretty noticeable, especially if you're like in a store. How do you just walk off without a shoe? I don't know. I remember once I was swimming, and it was like I had these swim shoes on, because the lake that I used to swim at, it had like, I didn't know what was at the bottom of the lake. It was kind of just not visible down there, like a void. So we started wearing like water shoes for a bit, and I was like swimming with them. And then they're a little difficult to swim with. It wasn't the most like optimal. At one point, I remember it was like awkward to swim, not like difficult to swim anymore. And after a certain point, I believe it was my brother or my friends that used to come with us, they pointed out that I was only wearing one of my water shoes. I was like, oh, I guess I'm not wearing shoes anymore. I'm not wearing one of my shoes anymore. and it was gone. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, lakes you cannot see to the bottom. So the idea of even like trying to go down and like look for it is kind of just like it's already lost. You should just give up. So unfortunately, I took off the other shoe and I think I threw it at the bottom of the lake. I feel so bad about that because I just apparently as a kid had no conscience. This was when I was like 7 maybe. It wasn't that young, but it was still pretty young. I had like no conscience of littering. Question done. What's the funniest substitutes for shopping bags you've ever seen? You've seen people use to hold their shopping. Okay, this one is a weird one, but I don't know if it's the weirdest one. Recently, it was like beginning of summer. It was like one of our hotter days, or like one of the first hot days. I was working at the cash register, and this guy didn't want to pay for our bags, right? So it's not exactly like against the rules to not wear a shirt. So you can wear like you can choose not to wear a shirt when coming into our store. So this guy takes off his shirt. I helped fill the shirt with items. I'm not even joking. This guy just like it was kind of big brain. I'm not gonna lie. It was really smart, but at the same time, it wasn't necessary. But yeah, so he just walked out of the store shirtless. And of course, this guy has like tattoos, so I think he was like walking around loud and proud. You know what? All right, real quick, I'm gonna hop into streaming chat, and if anyone just wants to join and like talk on the stream, go ahead, go crazy.
I don't have a work story per se.
You have a work story? Oh, you don't have a work story per se?
I don't have a work story, but I have something very similar to what you encountered with like shoplifters.
Yeah.
When I was like 13, I was shopping with my mom, and I think my brother was with us, but he was like somewhere else in the store. I saw this guy in like full hoodie. His hood was up. He had like a mask on. It was before COVID times, obviously, years ago. And like just fully like acting like the most suspicious. You know when that guy is just being shady and it's overly obvious, like looking over his shoulder, all that stuff. He was doing that, and I was like 12 to 13. I was like, this guy's suspicious. Like, this guy's weird. And I saw this guy just full on looked me in the eyes because my mom wasn't with me at the time. I was just alone in the aisle with like a couple people. Looks me in the eyes as I'm the only one looking at him, and just stuffs a bunch of shit into his pockets while looking at me. And he knows I'm watching, and he just bolts right past me. And I'm just like, huh. And my mom walks in, and she's like, what's up? And I'm just like, I just watched a guy shoplift, and she's like, what?
I mean, that's the difference between two different types of children. You got the ones that stay quiet and watch, and then you got the ones who scream at the top of their lungs.
I wouldn't scream. I'd point me, hey, you're stealing. That's funny.
I just watched it. I was like, I'm a 13-year-old child that's half your height. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do against you?
I bet that's what they were thinking. They were just like, what is this kid gonna do to stop me? And just books it.
Yeah, see, I don't have any funny shoplifting stories, but I have, you know, those like racks in stores used for putting vegetables on or something? Anything. Yeah. I was shopping with my auntie, and she didn't want to carry anything, and she was just like, can I have the rack? Can I have it? And it's funny because I have it right next to me right now, and it's used to hold my shoes. But I find it funny that I just have it. I have it.
This isn't shoplifting, but when me and my friend Bobby, or Random Gaming, as some of you might know him, when we were watching an anime movie at my brother's movie theater that he was working at the time, when we finished, we asked for the advertisement like cardboard poster, and yeah, and so sometimes in the back of my room when I'm using my camera, you can see a poster for a movie called Weathering with You in the back. It is a cardboard advertisement poster that I took home because Bobby did 50 push-ups all at once.
That is brilliant.
I will say right now, it's a lot bigger than it looks on camera.
I have a fun story. So I talked about how I have a thing for stealing taking signs. So I was walking home from school a couple of years ago. And there was this like stop sign that was just like on like one of those side streets. It's not used often, and it was like in the middle of nowhere. and it was like half over, so it was like half like falling over, and I was just like, I kind of want that stop sign. So I walked up to it, and had to like fully pry the sign off the pole, and I just started walking with it. Like, not even trying to hide it. I just put it under my arm and started walking.
See, that's how you do it. If you look suspicious, they're gonna question you.
I've seen someone steal a stop sign before.
Yeah,
I have like 5 outside my house.
Like surprisingly, I don't know who would even think they are, but it's surprisingly heavy.
They're not free. What? But you're not supposed. They're not free.
Okay, but if you see one,
but I want one.
You're gonna take it.
But I want
no,
one.
you're not.
Why not? It's funny.
It doesn't end there. It's like, I'm just walking for like 5 to 7 minutes, and this guy drives by and he stops the car, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get yelled at. And instead of getting yelled at, this guy, like maybe 30s, some like pretty old, gets out the car, like middle-aged man, like Aboriginal, and he just looks at me and goes, "Hey kid," I'm just like, "Yeah," and he goes, "How much for the sign?" And I just go, I don't know, like $10 bucks, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." Gets out his wallet and gives me $10, takes the sign, gets in his car, and drives off. And I'm just standing there with $10, and I'm like,
"No, you could have gone 20. You could have made so much money."
I was a 13-year-old. I didn't have like a concept of money.
Oh, I was
the legal
not a
system.
concept between right and wrong.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a more important one.
I mean, no, even at this, I stole a stop sign like 2 years ago.
I need to take a picture of my collection.
I've stolen like 2 stop signs back then and one like 2 years ago, just because I wanted them.
Okay, the good news is that there's a statute of limitations, and you successfully have evaded the statute of limitations, so you're allowed to talk legally about your crimes.
Myself and my friends went to the cinema. It was, I forget the movie now. It was something with Nicolas Cage. My friends loved the cardboard cutout of Nicolas Cage. So at the end of the day, we walked out of the cinema with the cardboard cutout of Nicolas Cage.
God.
I had a pretty interesting experience a couple years back. I'm just like leaving the movies. I didn't take anything, not this time, but I just it was funny because me and my brother went to the movies to watch, I think it was like Thor. I think it was the latest Thor before Love and Thunder. And I remember just like walking out with my brother, and there were these like 2 teens that like were getting yelled at by security. And I get curious, and I'm just like, "Oh, what's going on over there?" And he's like, "I don't know, but I'm going to the car. Catch up with me in a second." I was like, "Oh, sure." Walk over, and these 2 teens that are just getting yelled at for trying to like, they've got like these 2 cupboard like cutouts of cardboard that are like double their size, and they're like dragging it, trying to like drag it out of the fucking cinema, and the security's just like yelling at them.
I don't know what to. With all these just like shoplifting stories, I'm very concerned with what you can and cannot just get away with. Not legally, but
you can get away with stealing racks. I'm telling you.
I mean, yeah, no. Honestly,
you can steal the shelves. See, I don't have another stealing one, but this woman walked in. I thought she was a Karen, right? She was yelling at these people at the front. Like, what would you call it? A front desk in a cinema? A check-in, maybe?
Check-in.
Yeah,
sure.
She was yelling at them and asking for popcorn boxes, like a load of popcorn boxes, because she said her kid was throwing up. She got like, I don't know, like 20 of them or something. The people were kind of nervous and just kind of handed her a few. And she just casually walked out into her car with them and drove off.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time my mom stole a bowl, like a porcelain bowl or whatever from like Red Lobster?
Wait,
no.
What?
Yeah, we didn't like the food there, but she liked the bowls, so she stole a bowl.
Oh, that's fair.
She put it in her purse and walked out of the store, and not the store, the restaurant. And I'm like, "What, Mom?" And she's like, "It's okay, it's pretty."
Yeah, I think that's a mom thing. Cause my parents have stolen so many cutlery and cups and plates from hotels that we slept.
My mom steals shampoo.
Fair enough. I think that's a mom thing.
I've definitely taken my fair share of interesting things. There was this
Unfair
like,
share.
this school trip of like this like camp area where there's a bunch of activities that we'd go to like every couple weeks, and we were doing like a I think it was like a treasure hunt or whatever, like follow like using a compass and stuff for this time we were growing up. And I remember that we were wandering trying to find these things, and I found like this tag with a bunch of important shit on it and like keys on this little ring that
You
were like
didn't.
obviously important. I was just like, you see, I could give this to someone. This tag is really cool. Like the tag had like EAG4 or something like that on it. It was like a proper tag with keys and a little ring attached to it. And I was like, I could give this back to someone. Or I could put it in my pocket, take it as a souvenir, and never tell anyone about it. And that's what I did. And that
I
was, like, last
respect
year.
it, but also,
That was like last year.
We need to start a collection of the things now. Souvenirs. I was like,
I've lost half of mine.
my mother gave away one of my road signs, and I've never been more sad.
How dare you?
Yeah, they're giving away something you stole.
I didn't steal it. I borrowed it, and if anything, it was on my lane. So my property.
I saw a friend of mine steal the traffic lights off the traffic sign.
Yes.
No, how? No, this is not happening. This is.
It's funny. The only other stop sign I had that like I stole and kept, I had to fucking ditch it from my room. Like I think it was last year or early this year, one of the two. Because it was in my room, just like hidden under my bed, and my mom was like, "Okay, you're moving to the bigger room in the house. We're gonna start moving stuff out soon." And I was like, "Fuck, panic!" So I just picked it up in the middle of the night, ran out in front of my house at like 2 a.m. in the morning, ran down the road in sleepwear, and just chucked it in bushes and ran back to my house because I knew I'd get yelled at if my mom found out I had a stop sign.
So now the bushes were a culprit in the crime investigation.
Oh, I stole a shopping cart once.
Oh, same. I got one from my school. It was fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah. Here's my road sign, by the way. I love it dearly. I need to get a stop sign.
Oh, you got a parking sign.
Yeah, I got a parking one.
Job. But
the thing is, we have a lot of construction on my lane, and they just kind of never come back for the sign. So I'm thinking free real estate. I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna put
there's been a couple.
I'm gonna put the parking sign in the top right of my screen for the rest of the stream.
Oh come, you've never stolen a sign, any sign.
No, because it's illegal.
Dylan, I'm thinking you're the weird one here.
I'm the odd one out, apparently.
Dylan, you must love your friends so much.
I cherish my friends at least a little bit.
We're not thieves, to be clear. They're all borrowed and free.
We're just listen. If there's no price tag, I say it's free.
Yeah, they're free. I'm just saying.
This is all wrong.
No,
I live in a universe where
they're free.
All right, you're silencing
Dylan,
me.
if there's no price tag, it's free. It's just like how people can go into people's houses and take
Listen,
shit.
it's not. Someone just left it out there, so I think they're free.
I'm better than them. I haven't actually stolen anything. I've tried to, but I haven't.
But you stole my heart.
You're better only because you failed to steal.
No! Fairy, do not steal my son's heart. He will die.
Oh.
Literally.
Okay, I've definitely stolen stuff from like everyone in this call.
Yeah,
like,
you're not
in
you're
Minecraft.
No better than us.
No,
Like-
Have you stolen anything from me before?
Like in Minecraft, yes.
I'm about to admit this on stream. I have stolen in real life.
As you should.
Jeez.
What have you
Haley,
stolen? I need to know.
Yeah, what if you stole? I need to know.
I've stolen like 6 pink sparkly rocks from like this one store.
Oh, I've stolen
Same.
so many of those.
Dude, I don't know why I really wanted the rocks. Dude, they were
I
pink,
understand
sparkly.
completely.
I was just like, you know.
Okay.
This one fancy store has like this water fountain with the prettiest rocks, and I steal them every time I go in there.
And I walked over and I was just like, yo, I'm kind of thirsty, but I don't have any money on me. And they're like, okay, just get a drink. I was like, okay. Walked over, just picked up a bottle of Pepsi, a small bottle of them, of 1 or 2, for me and my friend, because both of us were thirsty. And we just like walked to the like exit, and my friends got what they wanted, and we just walked to the exit, and my friends didn't, of course, want to pay for these drinks. So what we did is, because like, you know, there's the sensors that are like go off if something passes through it that's not been like scanned. What we did is my friend with his paid stuff like walked through, and then I chucked them above the sensor, and he caught both and gave them to me, and after I walked through, and we just walked off.
Crime. This is...
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So real quick, to go back a little bit to work stories. We have like one of those. But we have one of those like, what is it? Freaking soda machines, like the Coca-Cola soda machines, where you can just kind of have like any drink you want from it.
The ones that are really damn heavy. Not that I would know how heavy they are.
But okay. So okay, I'm just gonna ignore that.
Oh God!
One of the things that is so incredibly common when it comes to like people checking out items, you have to water is free. That's one thing, but what is it? There's also lemonade that looks pretty clear and could be mistaken for water. So we have to know the difference between lemonade and water, just so that we're not like accidentally letting people go with free lemonade. And so all the time people come up to the cash register and there is just this misty or like foggy liquid that's in a cup, and I have to ask them, is this lemonade? Because it is lemonade, I'm not wrong. And they look at me in the eyes and go, no, it's water. And I'm like, and then because the customer is right, I have to let it go. I can't do anything about it. So
that's beautiful.
But like, whenever that happens, just because it's a funny joke for me, I stare them in the eyes while I scan the other items, because I've gotten so good at cash register that I am able to scan items without looking at them. I know where the barcode is. So
can I come to your store?
Sure, please.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
I would get away with so much in there.
I'd walk up with a shopping cart and like a thing full of just water. Clearly water.
I feel like Dylan would get in trouble for being in like cahoots with people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're like waiting outside for you to be finished.
With all like
Oh my
the
God.
stolen stuff that's very clearly not ours.
Explain.
Shut up! Alright, hey everyone, we're in the stream here. Thanks for tagging along.
Helia gaslights.
I would never. She would never. She's too nice.
I gatekeep.
Oh, I'm lightheaded. Alright,
Girl
yeah.
boss?
So,
That's Gino's character.
I'm gonna the stream. Bye.